Now it's time for Glow with Markette Sheppard, a show where talk enlightens and inspires you to glow through life instead of going through the life just to get by. Hosted by Emmy award-winning TV host and best-selling author Markette Sheppard. Listen now for insightful conversations featuring celebrities and thought leaders. Call in to share your story live on air. Are you ready for a glow up? Your journey towards enlightenment starts right now.
That's right. Welcome to another episode of Glow with Markette Sheppard. I want to start out this episode with a prayer. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and strong. May you care for yourself joyfully. That's what Glow is all about. And you can find more inspiration and Monday motivation any day of the week on glowstreamtv.com or on our Instagram at Glowstream TV. I'm excited for this episode. We have our entertainment contributor, Cheryl Grant, joining us. Hey, Cheryl, how's it going?
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, we also have Norma Ramirez, our marketing assistant, who's also the author of a very impactful blog on recovery on glowstream.com. Hey, Norma, I understand you're going to share a little bit about the blog later in the episode.
A little bit. I don't want to give too much away, so they'll have to go read it, but I'll share a little bit.
All right, I'm excited. And then we have my producer, Cameron Steele, on the show. He is the mastermind behind this show. And he's also what you call an intuitive. And we're going to talk healing today after we get the entertainment report. Cameron, are you ready?
I am ready.
I'm excited. I'm
ready.
excited.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your wonderful show. Thank you.
It's been great working with you. Why not? Why not? All right, I want to go to Cheryl. You have an entertainment report because, you know, all of us have been in the house so much during this pandemic. Yes. We want some feel-good, glow-up entertainment, and you got the plug.
Well, I'll start with some movie news. I definitely have movie news to share. And if you are a Bond fan, James Bond is back. He is finally back on the big screen. 007 is here, coming out this week. Daniel Craig stars in No Time to Die. So it's been a much highly anticipated movie. Everyone has been waiting for this to hit the screen. And the big deal is this is his last time playing the iconic figure, 007. So this is huge news. So everybody's waiting for this. Everyone is very excited about it. I'm a Bond fan, so I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see it on the big screen and see how this one does. Now, this one is pretty tricky because it is long. It is almost 3 hours long. The runtime is 2 hours and some change, closer to the 3-hour mark. So hopefully all the action and the storyline and all of that is great. So I've seen several trailers. I'm looking forward to seeing it on the big screen. I'm going to make my debut in the screen, in the area with my big popcorn and all of that and see and get the full vibe of the whole thing. So this is huge, huge, huge. Are you a Bond fan?
You know what? I loved Pierce Brosnan. You know, wasn't he Bond for a while? I loved him.
Yes, he was.
Daniel Craig, he grew on me, okay, because I guess he was a big star in England, but no one really knew him when he was introduced as Bond in the US. Yes. So he's someone I've kind of grown to know, and maybe I'll check this out since this is his last one.
Yeah, this is his last one, so it's a really, really big deal. The other thing, this is a theatrical release only. The only way you're going to be able to see it is if you hit theaters. There is no streaming, no side, anything like that in the works, no video on demand or anything like that. They're really hoping for a big, big show, big turnout. So this is really huge. So check that out if you can. That releases this Friday. The official releases this Friday. There are some pre-screenings, I think, on Thursday, but officially for everyone else, you know, if you want to see it, get to the theaters this Friday and get your tickets now because they seem to be going pretty quickly. So it's a really
people are still going into the theaters. This is interesting. I mean, people, have been staying at home. I bought an outdoor projector this weekend, and
Oh,
we
that's
watched
so
our Sunday night
cool.
shows in the backyard because we were tired of being in the house.
I love that idea. I think that is so great. And it was so perfect this weekend. So it was awesome to be able to sit outside and actually watch something. Speaking of blockbusters and hits, remember last time I was on, I talked about Scarlett Johansson and how she had this lawsuit against Disney.
Yes.
Well, she's a winner today. She won her lawsuit. And for those of you who may not know, Scarlett Johansson in the movie Black Widow sued Disney because they broke the terms of their contract. They said it was going to be a theatrical release only, but what they did was they did a hybrid release, meaning they did a theatrical release and also streamed it on Disney Plus. That was not what was agreed to in her contract. So she sued them and they went ahead and settled out of court. So she is a winner. They are a mum on what the disclosed price, what the money was, what she got. They're not saying about that. Everyone's on good terms. They understood why she had to do that. It was in her contract. She missed out on some bonus money as a result of that. So it was really a big deal that this took place and that this happened. But the good thing is she won. They settled. It's all good. But Disney's not like letting this happen to them again. Moving forward, all of their movies will be theatrical releases. So they're not trying to get in a situation like that again. So no more streaming for them, only in theater movie releases only for all of their movies. So
wow. Well, I just want to say kudos to Scarlett Johansson because Disney is huge. It's a giant. And as a woman, you need to get your money. You have contracts, and then you have people and giants and moguls who sometimes don't honor the contract. And it's almost like they are daring you, to speak up and fight it. And it's expensive to fight it. And having been in the media industry for so long, I've had to go through that where it's like, a big entity is saying, oh, we're not going to give you what we said we can give you. And they're thinking you're not going to get a lawyer and get your money. And so I encourage everyone to be like ScarJo and go get your money. You've earned it. You've worked for it. They have you in your position. In Scarlett Johansson's case, she is the star of the movie for a reason. Go after your money, whatever you have to do to make sure that you push the big guys to make good on their work.
Yeah, and I'm glad she did. She had really big support from a lot of her colleagues in the industry. Jamie Lee Curtis, so many stars spoke out with regard to this. And they spoke, to your point, Markette, about women really speaking up, because had it been a male, it would have been a different situation. A lot of people felt it would have been different, a male speaking up as opposed to her speaking up. So she got a lot of press based on it. And I'm just glad there was a great outcome for her. So that was really cool.
Yep. And shout out to the SAG-AFTRA Actors Union. They are phenomenal.
Yes.
If you are in the entertainment industry and you have a problem with your contract, they will guide you through it. You are not alone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, we're turning now to the small screen. I'm excited about this one too. Dave Chappelle is making a comeback. He is actually doing what he loves best. He is doing a new stand-up special. It's going to be on Netflix, and his stand-up special is called Dave Chappelle, The Closer. It's The Closer, and it's coming out tomorrow. So many things are popping out this month. There's a lot of debuts for a lot of new programming and returning shows. But this is a pretty big deal for Dave Chappelle. He is actually going to continue doing his stand-up. So I can't wait to see this. He's a bit raw, and he has in his promo, his tease, his trailer for this upcoming special, which is on Netflix, by the way, which is another big deal, because I don't know if you all may remember, he pulled his shows off of Netflix at one point in time. He decided to want them there.
The Dave Chappelle show.
Yes, remember? So those are back, by the way. Netflix has them back. So they came to some agreement. And now this is a big deal because now he's back doing a stand-up special on Netflix. And this is tomorrow, Tuesday.
Wow. All of these actors, they are going after their business. They are working it out, because a lot of people like myself, you start out just for a love of the industry, a love of the craft, whether you're an actor, a singer, a performer, a TV host. And then you start realizing it's called show business for a reason. It should be called business show, right? Because if you don't have your business in order first, you're going to have some heartache.
True. Very, very, very true. This last one, finally on the small screen as well. I really wish our best beauty bud was here because I'm excited about this one because I want to know what's going to happen. But Cynthia Bailey, the OG, I will say, of the Atlanta Housewives, is leaving. She's retiring. She's going to be gone from the franchise. So that's a big deal. There's pretty much a shakeup for the Atlanta Housewives because I think there may be something brewing with Portia as well. But
yes, I've been reading. Now, was Cynthia the longest remaining housewife on the past season of the show?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes,
wow.
Yes,
so
yes.
all of the originals are gone. And then Cynthia was holding it down for the
She
new crop
was.
and became the OG.
She became the OG, Nene, all of those others have long gone and gone on to do other projects. But the good thing is she's not leaving Bravo. She's still going to be in the Bravo family because there's going to be a spinoff. There's going to be a travel show with some of the other housewives from other franchises that will be joining her, and that'll be coming out at some time later this month. But I am curious to see how the Atlanta Housewives sort of gets their legs back because I enjoy all of the franchises, most of them, and Atlanta was one of my favorites, but they sort of fell off a little bit. I would be curious to hear what Brandon would say about that, but I cannot wait to see how they regroup it. They're going to have to get some more players involved and I guess make it a little more edgy. Not that I want to see anyone slinging someone across the table or throwing some beverage in someone's face, but just to give it a bit more juicier or storylines with some to it. And I think that was missing that. So
yeah, Brandon would be great. Our beauty best friend. He has posted a new Makeup Monday on glowstreamtv.com. By the way, it's all about Halloween makeup. So that should be fun. But I have found the reality shows that I like the best are the ones where people are very much real friends or they have a relationship that goes beyond the show. And I think some of the magic may be gone because with the original cast, those ladies really knew each other. And now it's just like filling open slots on the show.
Yes. And I have a correction. Candy is still on there. Candy Burris is still on the Atlanta Housewives. So she's the remaining now. But Cynthia has been there since the very beginning. We've seen her in 2 different marriages.
Yes.
So
and for our listeners, go back and listen to our love and marriage podcast from last week, because I think that would be one Cynthia would enjoy.
Yes, indeed. Well, that pretty much wraps up my entertainment report.
I love it, Cheryl, because I am watching all of my reality shows. Married to Medicine is my newest indulgence because it's so good, right?
I love them. Dr. Jackie,
Dr. Simone,
Quad.
But that's one of the shows where I was talking about, like, these women, they are really friends. They have friendships that predated the show. And I don't know what it is about reality TV. It either makes you stronger in your relationship with your friends and your spouse, or it breaks you apart.
Yeah, that's true. So true.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Cheryl. Will you stick around for Cameron and Norma?
Yes,
I love it.
I will.
Okay, so the funny thing is, Cheryl, Norma, and Cameron, at the end of last week's podcast, we were talking about love and relationships and the stressors of the pandemic. And after we stopped recording the podcast, the conversation continued because my experience has been that I've grown closer to my husband as a result of the pandemic. We're in the house more. I've learned how to live with him 24/7, but there's a certain ease and comfort in knowing that I'm in good hands, I'm in safe, familiar hands, and I'm never going to be surprised or disrupted in any way in my relationship. There's trust there. And I was saying that years ago, I had a wardrobe stylist on a morning show I was hosting, and he pulls me aside. His job is to really put me in dresses for TV. He pulled me inside and he goes, "I don't know if I should be telling you this, but I'm a medium." And if that wasn't his career, that was just his special gift. And I said, "Medium? Whoa, really?" And he said, "Yes. And I just want to let you know that your husband's energy is all over you. And did you know that you and your husband have made a pact in previous lifetimes to meet up with each other again and again each lifetime? And of course, if you're watching on Facebook, you can see my face, but it's just like, okay. I mean, it was a lot to take in because, I didn't really know the man. He was literally just my wardrobe stylist, important, but he didn't know my husband. All he saw was a wedding ring. And then he started telling me little things about my husband's career that no one could know unless you knew him. And it's not on the internet because he's a private person. And so Cameron goes, yeah, I do that kind of stuff. That's my producer, Cameron, for Glow with Markette Sheppard. And I was listening to your show a couple of years ago, Cam, and you said that you and your wife also have been together in previous lifetimes. So I want to explore this topic. It could go deep. It could be a little heavy. That's why I wanted to start out with entertainment first. And now let's get into past lives and what does this mean, and can it help us have some clarity for this lifetime? You're on mute.
My microphone just went kaput on me here a second, so now I need to change.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, well, it's the thing with producing a show and being a guest at the same time. Sometimes can be a bit of a thing. Anyways, yeah. So it's interesting. My wife and I have had, we've had multiple lifetimes together, and it just never, and, we've been together now 21 years in this life, and it still feels fresh and new and to me, because I will refer to her as my bride, and it just, we just keep it fresh. Now, when it comes to past lives, I mean, this is just an agreement, a soul agreement that we've had. And even in fact, I think it was about a month ago, maybe a little bit longer, we had talked about this, and I'm probably getting my times wrong. I do that. But we had talked about saying, well, we'll just make sure we're together in the next life or something like that. We talked about this at some point, and it's just something that you just agree to do it. At some point in one life, you agree to do it. Now, there's going to be lives where, she's murdered me, I've murdered her.
You said that in your podcast. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah. So, there's things that we have discovered.
Wait,
and
were these crimes of passion?
I was a female, and she was a male, and oh yeah, I mean, there are multiple scenarios. I wish she could be here today with us to talk about this, because she's so intuitive herself, and so she's got such an amazing gift. And lots to say,
Okay, but I have a question for you, Kim, because you're saying it so naturally and casually, and I'm a little kind of like, wait, first question, what is a soul agreement? Because do you say that in this, like, consciously as you're living, and then
yeah, well, so here's what my perspective is on this. So when we're up in the light and we're having a gay old time and everything's fine and everybody's having fun and running around,
some people may know that as heaven or the other side.
Yeah, in heaven. Okay. And so my perspective is how do we know what life we're going to choose? Okay, well, so here's the way I've seen it in my visions. And in spirit will always use what's in your conscious mind to access your unconscious mind, because you don't know what you don't know in your unconscious mind. All you know is what you see in your conscious mind, right?
Okay.
So I'm a movie buff. I love movies. My wife and I go to movies all the time. We binge on movies. We love movies. So anyways, they use a movie theater when I'm doing intuitive readings. I'm sitting in a movie theater as a visualization with a blank screen. Okay. And I'm looking at the blank screen, and there's some angel or whatever on the stage, and kind of guiding what's being seen. No, we got this life here. Who wants to try that? Oh my gosh, look what happens. You get killed by a train. Anybody interested? Oh, I am, because I've never had that experience before. Right?
Wait. So you're saying you see your whole life play out, and then you decide you want to get on that ride.
I want to take that train, because that one, I've never had an experience like that before. And so when you take that perspective, you talk about healing the past, it allows your conscious mind to also go, well, wait a second, I did choose this. And this is an experience that I've probably never had before. And it's going to be hard, and it's going to be difficult, or it's going to be fun, because tomorrow you might win the lottery. You don't know. We don't know what we don't know in our life. But what we know is that as a soul, we've probably chosen this life, if that's something you believe. And if you've chosen this life, it empowers you. It empowers you to say, I chose this experience, so now I'm going to learn to deal with it. And so now, if you have two souls that say, you know what, I want to have this, I want to go on this ride with you. Can we do it together? Yeah, let's do it. Let's find out what it's like. So maybe one day she's a train conductor and I'm standing on the tracks and she runs me over, or I run her over, or whatever. But we've had these lifetimes together where we've either been partners in life, or we've been a mother-daughter, or a mother-son, or a father-son, or a father-daughter. We've had all these different experiences. This life here, we're bride and groom. And we're enjoying our experiences here together. And we're having fun together, and we're laughing together, but this is a life that we chose. Now, an experience recently, we moved to Texas. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we brought my mother-in-law down with us. 5 weeks after we moved here, we had all these plans, and it's the old saying, tell God what your plan is and he'll tell you his,
Yeah.
So 5 weeks later, unfortunately, my mother-in-law is in the hospital. So all the plans that we had with her were kind of put on hold. But again, we kind of chose this experience. And as difficult as it is, and as frustrating as it is, we've got loads of paperwork we got to figure out and all this stuff, because she's in the hospital, blah, 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 but it allows you to empower yourself and to enable yourself to say, to take control of your individual life. If you're in a bad relationship with somebody, and you can say, well, wait a second, I chose this. So now I can make another choice. I can choose to leave this bad relationship because it's not working for me. I can choose to leave this job because I don't like it anymore. If we look at it that way, we take away the victim consciousness. Oh, poor me, poor me. But then there's the other side of the coin. I chose to be a victim in this life. So I'm going to be a victim. I'm okay if I'm a victim.
Okay, no, that's not me at all. So
no, but I'm just saying though but people
can choose to be a victim or not to be
because of the life that was presented to you. Now you as a soul won't remember sitting in front of this theater the way I see it. I don't remember sitting in there, but that's the visualization that I got. So you can ask yourself, well, how did I chose this life? What was shown to me that made me go, I want to see what's going on in my life? And then Spirit may decide that, yeah, okay, I'm going to show you a few things that made you decide to take this life over another life.
Gotcha. This is so interesting to me to help people. And we're getting to Norma's blog, which I think it all kind of ties in together. We went from entertainment to you seeing movies as you're intuitive. For people out there who don't have that intuitive gift turned up to the point where they can see things, what does it all mean? Because when you say you have a sense and you have some connection to another life, and when I've heard people say, like my wardrobe stylist say it to me, I can sit alone in the quiet for an hour and I don't get any type of sense. And for other people out there, what does it all mean when they're going through struggle? Because I believe you do have to be a champion. You do have to triumph. It's not okay to lay down and be a victim, right?
Right.
But I can't seem to pull any divine feeling. It's just kind of something that I feel like I've known from living.
So your question really, if I'm hearing you right, you're asking me, how does somebody access their intuitiveness for their own individual life? And does everybody have that?
That's a good question. But I'm also asking for people who have never or can't seem to access an intuition.
Okay.
What does it mean to even know that they made a choice?
All right. So here's how this intuitiveness and all of this stuff is a very complex subject. Okay. for me, I best describe it as this. Some people wake up in the morning and they have a six-pack. They don't have to go to the gym. They just work. Maybe they work out twice a week, and man, they're in shape. And women, men, both have this beautiful figures, and they've got this beautiful stance, and they've got it going on. It's simple as that. But they don't have to do anything for it. On the other side of the coin, you've got someone who needs to work out. How do they get like that? How did they get to that place? Intuition is like a muscle. You have to work it. Some people are just naturally born with it. And some people, you have to work the muscle. You have to, everybody's got the same six-pack in their bodies. We've all got six-packs. We've all got figures. We've all got whatever you define that as. We're all human. We all have the same inner workings. We all have a heart, liver. We've got it all like that. The point being is that intuition is a muscle. So if you feel like you haven't got that you're missing that piece of intuitiveness, then you have to start working it as a muscle, and that takes practice. And what you can do, I teach people how to use their intuition with little exercises at home. And one of the exercises, I take a little pad like this, just a little pad, and you take maybe 6 or 7 pieces of paper on it. You write a number down, you crunch it up, and then you put it on the table, and you just mix them all up. You don't know which is which. You pick up a piece of paper and you go, okay, what number is this? What am I thinking or feeling about this number? Oh, I think it's a 3. I open it up. It's not a 3. Okay, so now I was wrong. Now I know what not to listen to in my body. Now I know what not to listen to. Now, so let's try this again. Okay, I've got this in my hand. I think it might be a 5. And you open it up, and you have to ask yourself, where am I feeling it in my body that it's a 5? Why do I say that's a 5? Where did I get that information from? Am I guessing, so you have to kind of train yourself to go, okay, I got it in my heart. It's a 5. So I'm going to listen to that. And it's a 5. And if you're wrong, then you know you weren't paying attention to your full body or the feeling or the vibe of something. Do you see what I'm saying? And Cheryl, I want to tell you something. The decision that you're making to go forward with something, be cautious. Be cautiously optimistic on it, because it's something that you've experienced before, but you can't go down that same road again. I don't know if that means anything to you, but you want to be, I'm just getting this hit all of a sudden that you just, and it's making me feel very emotional. All of a sudden they just came in, you got to tell her now because you might not get a chance later. So be cautiously optimistic, but watch who you're dealing with. Pay attention.
Cheryl, what does this mean to you?
I don't know. I'm getting emotional. This is crazy. I don't really want to go into any details.
Yeah, it's just a private thing, I feel. So
yes, but yes, it's true.
Okay.
Wow.
Anyway, sorry about that. I
don't be sorry. That's why
boom,
I was not expecting that. And as soon as you said my name, I was like, oh, he's gonna say something else. I don't know.
Funny thing is, when Cameron was talking, I was like, I have to go to Cheryl and Norma to respond. And I was thinking Cheryl, and Cameron, you brought her right in. So that was great.
Well, and like I say, the intuitiveness is in working with your intuition. It just takes practice. I mean, I would practice every night for 3 or 4 hours doing little exercises. I had to figure out what works for me. So when I'm doing a reading with someone, I'll use, I love going for drives. My wife and I love going for drives. So what do I use for intuition when I'm feeling something, or I'll visualize a red, green, and yellow light. And I'll use it literally. Okay, if I see a red light, it means don't go there. You don't need to say anything. Yellow light, you can say something, but be kind of aware of what's going on around you. In the case with Cheryl, like, I got a yellow light. Don't share everything. Just share this. That's it, because it's private matter. If I get a green light, it's like, okay, yeah, just share it. Just go for it. Just share everything and do that. Or I'll get a feeling of am I correct in assuming this, or am I wrong in assuming this? I use the red light, green light. Now, Norma, you're a very analytical person. And so you would be best, if you're going to practice your intuition, okay, I guess it's because you're a writer, but pencils keep coming up for me. And so you would use different colored pencils for following your intuition. So I would pick up some pencils and go, and what feels good, what feels good in my hand when I'm asking a question, pick up the color that you think is you like. And if you go, I don't like that color, that's not the right answer for you. Do you see what I'm saying?
My notes for work, I put them in different colors.
Wow.
This is funny. You're saying this, Cameron, because I was telling Norma, reading her blog is very good. It's powerful. I said, Norma, I see you writing a book. I guess I'm intuitive for other people. Just
you know, that's the thing. You can be. It's very hard to be intuitive for yourself because we have so many attachments to the answers. And it's the biggest thing is being so hard to be detached from the answers. I'll share a quick reading with you that I did on a friend. So I had a friend. Now, when I'm doing a reading with someone, generally speaking, if they have a wall up, it usually means they're not open to hearing what I want to say. And I'll just say, maybe I'm not the right person for you, because maybe our vibe together isn't working. And that's okay, because not everybody is going to vibe, So I had a friend of mine say, can you read my sister? This is going back years and years ago, probably 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago. But I just never forgot it because it was my first experience of having that wall. And I said, well, sure. I said, I can do that. So I got to her sister and we're sitting in front of each other. And I said, I'm not getting anything from you. I said, I usually would see a wall, like a brick wall saying, you can't talk to this person, but I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing black, like it's just dark. It's all dark. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. So I start throwing guesses out because I'm like, I feel like I want to do something for her, but everything I'm saying is coming out so stupid. I mean, it's just not making sense, to her. And I said, okay, so you know what? I said, I think that I can't see past 2 weeks. I said, I see a highway an energy highway. And, because the way I see things also is that our choices are everything's energy. And so based on where your energy is right now, and this applies to you, Cheryl, based on where your energy is right now, that's why I'm saying the whole cautiously optimistic, be aware. But you may change that tomorrow, and all of a sudden tomorrow you're talking to somebody else, say, oh no, that feels really good to go, because something shifted for you. And you made some kind of subtle different choice, something different. And all of a sudden now this path opens up for you. So, but anyways, so I'm tuning into this highway and I'm like, I can't see past 2 weeks. So just next 2 weeks, I feel like you just need to stay grounded, be around here, see your family. That's what I said to her. And she said, okay, well, that's good because I'm here for the next couple of weeks. 2 weeks later, she died in a car accident.
Oh my gosh. That was the black and not being able to see past 2 weeks.
Right. And so I was just, so Bobby and I are still friends, but she called me and she said, I got the tape and I listened to it. You need to know something. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. Sorry to hear this, but yeah, I was not allowed to see past what was going to happen. I just saw, it was just a dark room. There was nothing there. And for me, seeing a dark room means I just can't see anything. So I'm not the right person for you.
Right. It's not meant to be.
But I've had that. And I've had that happen before. But they haven't died. It just means that. So anytime I see that dark room or the wall, it just means I'm not supposed to see something. Mm-hmm. And I leave it at that.
Well, I want to give Cheryl and Norma an opportunity to respond because you got a strong feeling. Norma, do you have any reaction to Cameron's information that he shared with you and about you?
Yes. Okay. So the writer part, my mom has told me that for years, but I've always thought it was a biased opinion because she believes in whatever. I can tell her I'm going to be an astronaut and she would tell me I'd be a great one. So I'm always like, I'm not a writer. And then I start working with Glow. She asked me to write a blog. I've never written a blog, but of course I say yes. And people keep speaking this over my life. And I'm like, I don't even like to read. So, I mean, that's... so people speak things over your lives and you don't want to listen, but sometimes you just kind of have to Go with it.
Sometimes what's presented in front of you is the thing to do. Now I want you to turn around and look behind you at the picture of the castle that you have behind you. What do you see?
What do I see?
What do you see?
That's a church in New Orleans.
But what do you see at the tip?
A cross.
No.
Oh,
Does everybody else see what I'm seeing?
I think so.
I gotta bring Norma up. I can't see it. What are we seeing?
The pencils.
Yes, that's my thought. They're right.
Oh,
I just saw that when the picture came up. I'm looking at this going, pencils.
Oh my goodness, I'm freaking out. Wow.
this is so great. I knew you were going to be great, Cameron.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I just want to mention people that I do have my own website, CameronSteele.com. People can go there.
Absolutely. CameronSteele.com.
Cheryl, you want to respond to anything that Markette, because I don't want to take up any more time here from the
No,
show.
you're great.
No, you're good. I find this so very interesting. You hit the hammer right on the nail, as they say. I had a conversation yesterday with someone about revisiting a relationship, I should say, and pretty much I should not go back.
Yeah,
I
I get a pit in my stomach about that. So generally speaking, if I'm feeling a pit in my stomach about that, it's not something that I would encourage you. That's why I'm going with the whole cautiously optimistic, because I would never tell anybody, don't do that. I am always about saying, you have to make the choice, but this is what I sense.
I think this was a sign. I really do. A sign. I mean, because to discuss something like that, literally discuss something like that not long ago, and for you to say that, I think I had my answer. I think I've always known my answer. It's just, you always say, well, maybe I should, why not? Let's see. But I think I really have my answer now.
Who's Henrietta? I'm getting some kind of H, Henry or Henrietta. Someone from the other side, Aunt Henry or Aunt Henrietta, maybe Uncle Henry. Somebody got an H, something is, they're trying to speak. They have a speech problem and it sounds like they're saying Henry, but it may be Henrietta. They're going Henry. Does somebody have
Is
somebody?
this for Cheryl?
For anybody.
Henry?
Somebody's just coming through right now. Yeah.
Norma?
No.
I have an Uncle Howard.
Howard, well, H. Is he
H?
passed on?
Yes.
Okay, so let me see if this is Howard, because do you have a speech impediment?
I don't remember. I just remember towards the end of his life, he had mobility issues.
Okay.
But sharp as a whip. I can't remember his speech impediment.
So he's an uncle?
Yes.
That could be Uncle Howard. That could be an Uncle Howard. Let me just verify something with him. Hang on. Is it Uncle Howard? Howard, okay, why aren't you talking to me? Okay, now you are. Okay. He's like talking a mile a minute and I need him to slow down. Okay, something about using his, something about a car. Something about a car. He's missing his cars. Do you know anything about that? He's showing me different various colors of cars.
Cars?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Did he have a lot of cars? Did he have?
He had a black Volvo. That's all I know.
He's showing me a black car, but he's showing me different color cars. Howard. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, he's being a little shy. But I'm throwing something. He's trying to. There's something about his speech that I'm having a hard time with, and it'd be interesting for you to find out if he has some kind of speech issue. But I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. That's so interesting.
Yeah. I just, it's something that just popped up and he's just showing his face. He's kind of a burly man. He's showing himself to be a very burly man, but I don't get the sense that's what he was like in life. So maybe his energy was like a big energy in life. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And people perceived him to be kind of a burly man, but he wasn't that burly. He was a very gentle soul. And that's the feeling I get with him. He's very gentle. He's friendly. He's kind of a jokester, and something about his something about his right hand. He's showing me. He's going like this. My right hand. He's showing me his right hand. and I don't know
I
what that
can't
is.
make a connection. I don't know if
Okay.
that's my Uncle Howard.
That's
I can't
okay.
say,
That's
aha,
okay.
that's it.
No, that's okay. Because what happens now in situations like this, it might be a week later that you go, oh my God, I knew who that is.
Okay.
Because I
Okay.
remember now. You know what I mean? And whoever this person is, and it may be one of the listeners out there that I could be responding to because they know they're listening. Whatever it is, whoever this person is for, they're just wanting to check in and say hi, and it feels like they're there because someone's going through a really rough time, and they're trying to give them support. So
Well, it would be interesting if any of our Glow listeners make a connection.
yeah,
I'm feeling really fuzzy about it, but
yeah,
I'd love
yeah.
to hear anyone listening comment right
Yeah.
into us on Instagram. One last question for you.
Sure.
I know that we're running out of
I
time,
know we
Cameron.
are,
This
yeah.
is so interesting.
We can
And-
do it
and I'm-
again.
I'm-
We can do it again if you want. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm like, I wonder if we just go the full hour, because maybe we can heal someone, and that's what Glow is all about. But energy traps and loops.
Mhm.
Do you have any advice for anyone listening, including myself, where they find themselves in an energy loop, and we get that, okay, from your perspective, we've chosen this life.
Right.
We can choose better for
Right.
ourselves.
Well, that's the whole idea, is to be able to choose better. But the initial choosing your life thing is just because when I say you chose your life, yeah, just because you're stuck in something doesn't mean you have to be stuck in something. Because
Right.
remember, it's an experience.
Right.
You know, you chose this experience, but you can also, and maybe that experience in this life, I mean, it could be, it's such a, it can loop around so many times, so many ways. But yes, if you're stuck in that loop of energy, you have to, the only way to really get out of that loop of energy is to make a different choice and make a different decision. Okay, let's say, for instance, you know, you get up in the morning, you're driving to work, you take the same route every day, and you stop at the same coffee shop every day, and you get to work and you park in the same spot every day. Why are you taking the same route? Take a different route. Turn left instead of right. Just take a different route. There's a thing to get out of an energy loop like that is so simple, but it's the human side of us that overthinks it and complicates it, because we think it's supposed to be difficult to get out of something when it's not. It's just, it's like, you know what? When I leave my house in the mornings to take the dog for a walk, my routine is I take the kid to school, drive down the 59, get on 1314, drop them off, come back down. I sometimes will take 59, and sometimes I'll take the loop, 494 loop. And sometimes I will drive around the long way to get to the dog park. Not for any other reason, but to shake it up a bit. Because sometimes when we feel like we're in that energy loop, we have to do something different to get out of that loop.
Okay,
And
that's
once you get out of that loop, then you realize, oh, I don't have to do it the same way every day, because I'm getting to the same destination. Remember the old saying, it's about the journey, not the destination.
Right.
I mean, it's a simple procedure of just saying, I'm going to choose something different. Maybe Cheryl, and maybe Norma, and maybe Markette, maybe today is a day you're going, you know what? Markette, I get off this show. You're saying to yourself, I get off the show. Now I got to go do this. Now I got to do this. Well, why don't you reverse it? Get off the show and do what you were going to do last first.
I like that. Right.
You know, and maybe, maybe Cheryl, you're going to get off and you're thinking, okay, I've got so many things I got to do. What am I going to do first? Well, I got to go to the bathroom first. Okay, maybe I'll do that in a second. Because if you delay something, it changes the course of that day. It changes the course of who you're going to meet and who you're going to bump into. Just by making a different choice of how you're going to do things. A case in point is one day I got up and I was walking to the corner store to get my coffee, and this is going years ago. And I normally wouldn't do that, but I was in one of those loops of going, oh God, I'm getting up, going to do the same thing. I took a different route to get to the store to get my coffee in the morning. Well, I bumped into a friend that I hadn't seen in 10 years. And if I had gone the same route that I did the day before, I would never have bumped into him and never would have seen him. So by making different choices on how you do things and getting out of that energy loop, you're only opening yourself up for the wider possibilities of what could be.
Wow. And I know, Norma, this speaks so much to your blog, your recovery blog on Glow. Tell me about your reaction to this and what we can expect to hear from you tomorrow when your new blog post drops.
Okay, well, like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but basically tomorrow I'm going to be expanding on last week's topic, which expanded on the topic from the week before that. But like last week's topic was so important because it was about blooming where you're at. And just getting comfortable with whatever you're at, whatever season you're at, being grounded in that and pulling whatever life lessons you're supposed to pull from that, whether it be being okay with yourself. Just you have to figure out how you operate before you go try to operate with other people. So that's one thing that I learned whenever I got out of treatment was I numbed everything so much to where I had two emotions, happy and sad. That was it, pretty simple. But then once you start healing, you have to figure out even how your style of arguing is. Are you just going to blow up because this person blew up? That's counterproductive. So do you operate better if you separate yourself from the situation, figure out where you're wrong, and then go back? You have to get to know how you operate first. So this week I'm going to be talking about boundaries because that was a big one for me. And sometimes the boundaries that we have to set that are the hardest are with our family. They love us the most. They want the best for us, but we have to set those boundaries because we are recovering, and people think that recovery is ideally your recovery is not bringing you back to who you were. It's going to bring you back to something better. You're going to glow up. You're going to be better than the past. So I'm just going to be talking about that and just how to deal with it. You're going to have naysayers. You're going to have people that are going to tell you, well, last year you were going to start a diet in January and here we are and you didn't lose any weight. And if you have friends like that, get rid of them and come sit with us because we will lift you up. Just because you tried to put down the cigarettes 5 times doesn't mean that the 6th time you can't. You just have to, you get, like Markette said, we fall and we get back up and we continue getting back up. Because maybe, to me, all of those failures are for something, and they might not necessarily be for you. They might be for the person that you're going to reach back and help afterwards. So just holding yourself accountable for things like you make mistakes. That's the life you chose. That's what you chose for yourself, but you don't have to stay there. So this week it'll be about just boundaries and setting them with yourself and your loved ones, and basically putting on your mask first before you help somebody else.
Oh, I love that, Norma. And you know, the blog is about recovery, but everybody's recovering from something. And Norma, you and I were talking about it. This blog is not just for people who are recovering from drugs and alcohol. Everyone has their vice, right? Whether it's food or a person that you can't let go of and it's negatively affecting. And I would just share, younger in life, I was a close family member would verbally abuse me and always would run down the list of things that they thought was wrong with me and was negative. And you know, and the words, "you're nothing without me," would come out of their mouths. And at a young age, I had to set a boundary where it's either this person is going to be in my life and abuse me, right? Or I'm going to live my life without this person. And like you said, Norma, I had to set a really strong boundary very young with a powerful, close family member. And it was painful, but I'm in recovery from that to this day. You know what I mean? Like I am in recovery every day, not to go back to that abusive relationship. And I'm in recovery from the lesson I learned from that was, you can cut people off and then the abuse stops. But then I got into an energy loop of, okay, every time something gets bad or hard, I cut it off. as opposed to letting things play out and seeing how it goes. So now my recovery has graduated from, okay, I identify you as an abuser or somebody who's bad for me in my life, I'm cutting you off, to, what's going on here? Let me see how this is playing out. Is this person having a bad day, or are they really an abuser? Because as a child, when you grow up with verbal abuse, you can't tell the difference whether somebody's having a bad day or not. So I was just trained, oh my goodness, this person's having a bad day. I need to get them out of my life as soon as possible, And so that's, I think, what drives me with Glow, is that I've been through some stuff, and the only reason that I'm here today and I have a stable life and I've had a really great career and I have good friends and a family that I've made is because I made that choice, going back to Carmen, to believe in myself and to go after what I wanted and not just take what was handed to me. And I'm still trying to if I chose my childhood, okay, maybe I chose it to make me independent and strong. I don't know, Cameron, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, you know what, I'm going to go with what you're saying, because everybody has their own beliefs about everything else. And at the end of the day, again, my thing is that, we chose this lifetime, and the only thing I can say positive, well, not the only thing I can say positive, is that when we realize, if we take that thought for a moment and say, I chose this lifetime, so the experience that I'm experiencing, I must have chosen that, if that's the case. So now I know I can choose to have a different experience in the same life, because the whole thing is about choice, being able to choose. If you can, people choose to be in bad relationships because they don't feel like they have any other choice, because of fear of losing their lives, or fear. I mean, there's a real fear there, right?
Or their livelihood.
At the end of the day, the only thing preventing you from changing something is your own choice. And as hard as that is to believe sometimes, that's what it really comes down to. It comes down to a choice. When somebody says, I can't do that, because they believe they can't do that.
Right.
That's what they believe. They believe I can't do that. But everybody else is looking at you going, well, yeah, but you can, but you just don't believe that about yourself. You just don't believe that you have that choice, because it's been ingrained in your head. We don't have a choice. Living in this lifetime, in this pandemic and everything else, our choices, physical choices, are being taken away from us. But are they really? Because we can choose not to get the vaccine, or you can choose to get the vaccine. And you can also choose, if not to get the vaccine, then I'm using that as an example because that seems to be prominent right now. Then the choice that you make is going to prevent you from doing other things. And you have to be okay with that choice. You can't go to a restaurant without your vaccine passport. Okay, well, that's fine. I won't go to that restaurant. So now you're limiting your experiences by your choices.
Ooh, that's so interesting. Well, there's a famous saying by the Chinese philosopher Confucius: he who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right.
Exactly.
And I'd love to end this podcast on that note and thank the Glowstream TV family, Norma Ramirez coming to us from Louisiana, Cheryl Grant in Washington, D.C., Cameron Steele, you've been amazing coming to us from Texas. I'm joining you from Maryland, just outside of Washington, D.C. And I want to remind you from the bottom of my heart, I've been through places where I said, I don't know where I'm going to live. I don't know what I'm going to do for money. I've been there and I've triumphed with the mindset that I can. Nobody's going to tell me I'm less than, and nobody's going to tell me who I am. And on that note, I just want to encourage you to not just go through life, but to glow through life and join our community. Subscribe on glowstreamtv.com. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Glowstream TV, and come back next week for another impactful conversation. Hey, Glow Girls, Markette Sheppard here with another author spotlight. Today, I'm so excited to introduce you to Cheryl Gray Hines. She's a writer and the author of the book In Support of Myself, A Woman's Guide to Asking for and Accepting Help from Others. Ms. Hines, welcome to GlowStream TV.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, you know, so many women, including mothers and working women, we're always trying to help other people, but what are we really doing for ourselves? Can you tell me about the importance of women asking for help and then realizing that they need to accept it?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I have often seen is women pouring themselves out in all areas of their lives, personally, professionally, in terms of giving into their communities, and they leave themselves out of the equation. And so asking for and accepting help from others is truly important. One of the things that I often refer to is the handler syndrome that women can fall into, where yes, I can do that. No, I don't need any help. I've got it. Don't worry about it. I can handle it. And so we take on far more than we can actually handle or handle well without depleting, exhausting ourselves, or sometimes feeling like I don't have anything left to give and still have to give. So it's important to be in support of yourself and to ask others for help because of that.
You also say it's important that you should make the most of what's important right now. What is important? There are so many changes in the world right now. I feel like we're all having to reprioritize our lives.
Well, in terms of looking at what's important right now in our lives, there are different priorities at different times of our lives. And there are often external kinds of pressures that tell us we need to do this, or we need to do that, or we're looking at what others are doing and perceiving that we should be, pursuing the same things they are. When in fact, we need to step back and take a look at what is going on in our lives. What is this stage and phase that I'm in? So for instance, as a young career person, you may want to really focus on your career and to the exclusion of other things, being involved in too many other external organizations. As a new parent, there may be a ramping down of all of those extra projects that you may do at work, and instead focusing and making sure you have some time for that. New relationships, there are times where we have to prioritize. Well, am I going to pursue that path with my career to accomplish something, or am I going to roll back and focus? I love this quote by Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and it is, you can have it all, just not at the same time. And so we have to realize it is important for us to be clear about what during this juncture, this season of our lives is most important. So we can focus it, we can give it most of our energies, and then determine what other things can we also have added on our plate. So again, if we have focus, we're clear about why we're focusing in that particular area for this period of time. It enables us to just manage our time, manage our energy, and be more fulfilled with whatever it is that is going on in our lives during that time.
I am so glad you said that, because I remember a time in grad school when we were given a level setting talk, by the administration, and they were given examples of a pregnant grad school student who gave birth and then attended class the next day. And in the pandemic, I've been hearing stories of employers saying, well, I have an employee who's a single mom, found a babysitter and managed to make it to work. Why can't you? Mm-hmm. And there's this running theme in society that you should be a woman who can do it all and be everywhere. And those women are celebrated sometimes. And I kind of squint my eyes and say, should we be celebrating that? I mean, are these women just trying to survive? I think it's really important, like you're saying, to be honest with oneself about our needs and then act on them so that you are upholding your own personal goals, wants, and needs, and yes, not someone else's unrealistic goals, wants, and needs.
Absolutely. I mean, very often we will see women and it seems as if they have it all and they're doing it all. However, it does come at a cost. We as women, unfortunately, can sometimes put on facades as if everything is okay, as if there are no issues, there are no problems, and we are handling it well. Meanwhile, when you get back home behind a closed door, you're crumbling, or you are, you're in emotional upheaval, or you are short with others around you who, the external world isn't seeing because of all that you're trying to take on. Or we recognize that there are significant parts or aspects of our lives that we're missing out on because of all of the things that we have on our plates and that we're trying to address and trying to handle. The other thing is that to the extent that we are trying to be all things and are not being authentic with ourselves about where are we and what is the stage and phase of our lives and how we may need support, it has an impact on us, not only psychologically, but physically as well. And that's when we get sick, that's when our bodies break down because we are, all of this is happening internally and we're not acknowledging those things that we also need to focus on to help us to balance. Hey, colleague, I can't take that additional project on, or supervisor, manager. Yes, I know you want me to be a part of that also. However, this is what I can manage at this point in time. And this is what I need, or this is how I need support from you. Or there isn't room on this plate to add anything else unless we prioritize and look at what else do we need to take off and having them be a part of that solution, a part of assisting with that. And that goes as well for it in our home lives, right? We're trying to take on and do so many things without the assistance or the help of those in our household, maybe our children, or reaching out to a friend who's like, girl, I see what you're going through. I know what's going on. Can I help you? No, I have it. No, you don't have it. So ask for help.
That is so important. I think we are all learning in this world where demands seem to increase as you grow in your career, as you grow as a mother, a wife, a sister, a friend. People want more of you, right? Especially if you're a wonderful person. People want more of your time.
Yes,
but you
do.
say, in order to be a leader, you really have to have integrity with yourself and others. What does that look like?
Integrity with yourself means, first of all, honoring your values, right? And so those things that you say are important, that you are holding them true. Let me give you an example. I have often said my family was the most important thing to me. However, there was a period of my life where I realized that family members didn't feel like they had access to me. They would always say, you're too busy. You don't have enough time. You've got too much. Well, if I'm showing up in that manner, am I really being consistent with my value, my core value of saying that family is important to me? Another value, people often talk about, they're honest. Well, if you're honest, then that means if there's something going on that's bothering you, now we also have to look at how do we deliver communication and when we deliver it. But if there is something that's going on, whether it be professionally, whether it be personally, whether it be in an organization that you're a part of, it means that truth has to be shared. And so if that is a core value and you're not honoring that, well, that's a gap in integrity, because integrity is consistency with your words as well as your actions, right? Those things that you say you hold true to, are they showing up and are you demonstrating them in your life? And so integrity it's an example of our word, and we have to look at our word relative to ourselves. A person that says, I want to exercise, I want to stay fit, but they never go out and do anything. Well, you're telling me something. You're telling me something with the gap between what you espouse to be important and what your actual behaviors are.
You are also an executive coach and a leadership coach, and you offer your services to help people. They can read the book, of course, but sometimes it's so nice to be able to collaborate on your success with a partner. And you do that for people.
I do. And, coaching, it's about meeting, first of all, a person exactly where they are. with their situation and their circumstances. Being clear about what is it that they're trying to accomplish, or what kinds of obstacles or barriers are they encountering that they want to overcome, and then supporting them through asking them questions to help them discover on them by themselves what it is that they can do to move forward, and keeping them accountable, holding them true. Again, that goes back to that integrity. You say you want it, I'm going to help you get it.
An accountability partner for success.
Yes.
Where can we connect with you, buy your book, and follow you and all of the great things that you are offering online?
Well, you can connect with me via CherylGrayHines.com, and online, LinkedIn, Cheryl, and in parentheses, Gray Hines. I'm also on Twitter, Cheryl Gray Hines, try and make it easy. And then in terms of services that my consulting firm provides, because we provide organizational development work, executive and leadership coaching, organizational assessments, there are a number of things, the work around integrity, it can be found, and there's a link from Cheryl Gray Hines directly to my business, C. Gray and Associates, as well.
Well, thank you so much, Cheryl Gray Hines. In Support of Myself is the book. I'm going to recommend everyone pick up a copy, because that's the first step in supporting yourself, right?
That's right. That's right. And of course, in coach mode, every chapter has reflection questions at the end. So you can begin to think about, now, how do I put this in action in my life as well?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me on GlowStream TV.